Is it recording? Yeah, now it is. All right, this is a magazine bowl. It's pretty easy, I swear. So you guys can go through and look at all these magazines that I have like on the tables. You can go through and find magazine pages that have certain colors that you want, like you were talking about wanting to use pretty colors. So there's a really nice blue page. So you can rip this out, or you can use an X-Acto knife to rip these out, and I will get that, because I think that'd be nice to get. So I'll give you guys X-Acto knives, and you can cut these out so it's a straight line. Then what I do, after you have all of your colors picked out that you want, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to do colors, that's fine. We're going to take them into the cutting room, where the cutting board is, and then we're going to cut these in half. So this is like 2 inches. The reason why is if we have a giant piece of paper like this, and we fold it a bunch of times, so I'm going to show you how to fold it on a large scale first, okay? So if you can't see, now's the time to move around so you can. The nice thing about this right here is like this. I'm going to try a little bit harder. Okay. I'm going to get that exactly. They don't have to be perfect edges, but you just shouldn't rip them in half like I just did. And you got to make sure you don't have extra chunks following you around. Okay, so what we do is we fold it in half first. And so, you know, a lot of you guys are pretty bad at folding. No offense, no one's ever taught you. What I do is I try to line up the corners. And I slide my thumbs around, and then I set it down while I'm holding it here. And then I move my hand across the paper. And then I just seal it up. And then I can see that it's nice. The reason why this line is okay, it's disguised. I open it up, and then I'm going to fold it in half towards the middle. So it's like a hook fold. And then I just try to make it go right up to that crease, the first one that I made, that line. And then I fold it again. And so that's going to be disguised. Don't go over the line like that. You have to have it a little outwards, just touching that line ever so slightly. If you have it overlapping that crease, at the next step, it's going to make it bulky, and then it won't fold very well. And then you'll have areas that look like really wrinkled, like on the inside of this. This one was never glued, so it could easily come apart. Okay, then the next step is to fold it again towards the middle. So we're only going to be doing it, I'll show you on the smaller side, I think it's less times. You just want to try to make that line straight. Now I am a pro at folding because I've done this project so many times. So if you're struggling a lot, that's okay. Just don't use your pretty pages that you were saving. Try practicing on some word pages. And then you would fold it in half like this. So what it does is it makes like a heart shape or a V. Okay? So then, in order to make it have a curve, we're going to try to find the edge of the table. Here you go. I rub it across the table just a couple of times. I've seen kids do this so many times I thought they were going to start like on fire, like with the amount of friction. It's already warm. So it's just going a couple times, only in one direction. So this is softening the paper a little bit. And what this will do is allow it to roll up a lot better. If you don't do this step, it's going to get really wrinkly, your papers will. So right now we're breaking down the fibers when we do that. So this is the reason why we can do it for fiber arts class. The reason why I want to use a smaller one. Oh, that's very good page. Okay, so this paper feels kind of thick. You don't want to pick a page that is like a front of a cover of a magazine. It will be so thick you won't be able to fold it or roll it, but this one's fine. This paper here is a lot thinner, so the thinner it is, the better it is when it becomes thicker. So let's see how many times we have to fold it for the smaller papers. Fold it in half because it makes it look a lot cleaner, and then cut it in half. So that one wasn't quite right. And I have nails, so I can crease it and sharpen it. If you don't, you can just use the table. Open it up, it goes to the center. We get these to stick together by wrapping them up really tight, making good tension, and then at the end of it, we raise the bowl, and then we put Mod Podge or glue on it. And since I don't have a lot of Mod Podge, we just make our own out of glue and powder. Honestly, that way we have less folding when we cut the paper in half, and it's a smaller size, so you can see the difference. So we wouldn't want these two sizes right next to each other. I'm going to show you gonna show you how to connect these now, so it should be curved.
Where's my tape? And glue.
So just gonna be using Scotch tape and glue, rubber cement. I like rubber cement, it's a lot easier because you can peel it off. So once I have several of these made, you can see these ones are already attached. The kid abandoned these, but they look like it's all one piece if you don't see the tape, right? So they're all curved in the same direction. You don't want to put two curves making an S shape and having them go different directions because it will make an uneven foil. Okay? So I've got all of these and I've started coiling one of them. I'll start it with that one look like trash. Show you that tape. This one here doesn't look like it was taped right all the way. Maybe they used too much. It looks a little thick, or maybe it was too little. I'm not sure. It doesn't look very good. So you want your paper to be nice and thin in the middle part of your foil. So I'm going to show you guys how to tape it. It's not a very long piece of tape. I stick it down onto the table, sticky side up, attached to my finger, and I put my folded piece of paper up like this. I like to make sure all my folded flaps are going the same direction. It's on the here, folded flaps. So they're all, the V is facing upwards. I wouldn't want them going down. It could just make your project a little weak. Make sure they're all the same. And then you put it side by side. You don't overlap it like that, and you don't want to make them crooked. So it's just side by side. And if you were terrible at folding, then what happens is you get an uneven piece of paper together, and then it's obvious that it's messed up. So I would have you guys do like 5 of these at the beginning, just to stick them together so that it will be a lot easier for you in the future. Make sure that you don't have like an extra tab of tape sticking out, just fold it around so it's nice and flush to it. You really don't see a difference between everything. Alright, so to start this coil out, a lot of people have trouble with it because you've never rolled a sleeping bag or something, I don't know. Or you've never gotten so bored that you just roll a paper during class. No, you can't do that. So I'm running this on the side of the table, just a little bit more the part where I'm beginning, like you're curving it on a dollar bill on the side of a vending machine. So it's nice and curved. Before I start curling my paper, and I want it, the curvy side to be facing upwards, I get a little bit of glue, it's rubber cement. Oh, you gotta make sure you rub all that glue off onto the side because then it's just so much. It does not smell the best. It's used in it on purpose. I get all those extra layers off. Okay. What I'm doing right now, and this is not usually a necessary part, but it works really well. So this is going to allow me, once I start to coil my paper, it's going to make it stick together. Because the worst part is when you start to get a really nice coil, and then it comes apart when you let go. So I'm only doing it to the first tube because rubber cement dries quick. Okay, and I really don't like helping you guys with this part because then my hands are covered in glue. So just try it a few times and you'll get the hang of it. What I just did here at the beginning was I folded it a little bit and then I started making it really, really, really tight and trying to curl it on top of itself. And I want this coil to go in a straight line like I'm trying to Zamboni it. So you'll get parts where you get wrinkles that pop up like right here, right now. I'm just pressing it down with my other finger and I'm just tucking it in and forcing this roll to happen here. And then I'm pinching the sides because I don't want it to have a part that's sticking up like the cinnamon rolls, if that center part sticks up more. So I'm trying to make it all nice and flat. So as you can see, the paper is wrinkling there, so I just have to press it down. That's another reason why we put glue on the paper, is it softens it a little bit more. It also helps break the fabric up on the fibers out of the paper. Starting to work really well. So, and this rubber cement, even though it's kind of dry, it still has some stickiness to it. So as long as I'm pressing down, it will be nice and it will stick. I have rubber bands out because once we have this part stuck together, you're going to want to let it dry before you add anything else. So I'm going to keep on rolling this.
This is
But,
powder to that.
okay. you like. If you find all blues and purples, that would look really pretty next to each other. Especially the videos. Keep on gluing. You only need to do the glue to the first like 5 parts of this, or however many I have right now, because you don't want to glue the rest of it, because we're going to raise them, and what raising them means is we're going to make them stack on top of each other like a coil pot if you've ever done ceramics. And right now I'm not rolling it on the table, I'm rolling it above the table on my hands. Once it gets larger, it's easier to do it this way, because right now I'm pinching. Blah. That'll happen a lot. Do you guys remember video cassettes or tape recorders? That's what this is. We're just tightening it up. I'm pinching the center of my coil where I first started and twisting it into place. So that's all it is. I'm just tightening it up. I'm trying to roll this as much as I can. And this first part is really stressful for newbies, especially if you're bad at folding paper. This will be really difficult. Or if you don't like glue. And if you don't like glue, I'm not gonna. Just tightening it. We want the beginning part to be tight because this is your core, just like with your body, which your core has to be nice and strong and well put together. The glue is making it slippery, so I'm gonna just try to roll it over, and then I'll tighten it later. Looks like a snail. So here's the fun fact. I'm going to leave this tail, we'll call this part the tail, out. And I didn't put any glue on it. Make sure it's nice and tight. No, you can see pulling it with roll of tape. And then I'm going to take a rubber band and I'm just going to wrap it around it. So that'll keep it nice and tight. Once this part's dry, I'm going to take off the rubber band and add more to this. Now I've had a lot of people forget that, taking off the rubber band part, and then they taped more paper to it, and then they kept on rolling it around the paper, and then around the rubber band as well, and then we had to surgically remove it, and it was really difficult. So this is the first step. This is probably what you'll get done today. I highly recommend writing your name on this piece of paper that's sticking out, that tail, and then I'll have a box up at my desk, and you guys can keep it there, or you can take it home. But your first step today is finding enough colors in the magazine that you want, and you can use these as well. Okay, so if you want to go through and pick out the colors, that's fine. There's magazines on the table, just put them back in the boxes when you guys are done. I'll have everything, all the materials up